Hello, beautiful people. We are back on I don't even know what night it is. It's been a week. Wednesday night, May 13th, hot off the presses as I get this episode started. Enjoy every sandwich is rocking and rolling. I just got a text message from my friend Wendell Osborne from Food Savvy, thrown in on this Enjoy Every Sandwich tour with a hot honey chicken and waffle sandwich. Wow, that sounds great. Okay, cool. We're going to talk more about that later. But before that, we're going to get right to it with a friend of mine that I've been very, very excited to have to join me on the program. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Toniann Comello of Sweet Al's Cafe on Hilton Head Island. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Nick. How are you?
I'm great. I'm smiling from ear to ear because ever since you and I sat down, maybe, I don't know, it was like a year and change ago, we met for the first time. We knew that we were going to do something like this. I feel like, so when you and I first connected, and obviously we talked a bunch of times since then, we just have a lot in common. Like,
that Jersey bond, you know,
it's got to be part of it, right?
Totally.
I just felt like right off the bat, I was talking to someone that I just felt immediately comfortable with, someone who, not necessarily like, not saying that we like look at things the same way, but we just kind of come from the same place, and just the way that we operate in this space, with you as a food and beverage business owner, and me being such a aficionado of a lot of the stuff that you guys do over there, but not just that, really just kind of like a lot of the other stuff. Exactly.
Yeah, we're hustlers, right? We come from that work ethic, especially from New Jersey, New York area. Like, we work our butts off to get where we are. There are a lot of obstacles sometimes in the way, but you know what? You just roll with the punches, and you just go,
Yes. And you read my mind, because that's where I wanted to start. You're talking about hustling. So
hustling.
The reason why it's taken us a couple of months to get our acts together here is because, yes, I have days and weeks where I'm busier than a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest, but it doesn't come anywhere close to the amount of balls that you have in the air at any given time. And that's where I wanted to start. So you balance running a business with your husband, a true mom and pop, a true family-owned business.
I'm the brain. He's the bronze. Let's be real here. Okay. I'm also the bronze, but he I'll give him the bronze because I'm the brains there.
That's fair. And I saw Al about a week or two ago, and we got to have another great conversation. But in addition to running this business that's open, are you guys 6 or 7 days?
7 days a week and 2 locations. Yep.
That's right. 7 days a week, 2 locations. And I want to talk about location number 2 also.
Yeah.
We want to spend a couple of minutes on that. But 2 locations for this business that's wildly popular, for those who are, whether it's anything from coffee to bagels to donuts to wraps and like all kinds of stuff. And we're gonna show, we'll get some graphics up there as well in a minute. Awesome. But in addition to that, it's not just the business. You are parents of how many children?
I have 2 little ones, 9 and 11.
And they're homeschooled as well.
They're homeschooled, and I run a homeschool center of 26 kids. Yes, that we go. Where it's in Bluffton, over by the library, and we're there 3 days a week. So during the year, yep.
So this is a lot, because a lot of people, like, we talk a lot about like the parents that are working full-time jobs. And it's like, okay, they have to incorporate, a lot of these parents have to incorporate, we have to drop the kids off at school. We have to pick them up. You always hear about when the breaks are coming, because it's like, then now the parents' breaks don't happen because but this is a much different operation, because this is not just homeschooling, but a homeschooling operation. So essentially you're handling both of those obligations, the obligation of the parent who has a full-time job, and then
Right.
also the obligation of the teacher that most of these other people just kind of drop their kids off to deal with for
Right. And I
7 or
have
8 hours a
4
day.
right, and I have 4 other teachers at our center. In addition to that, and I don't know if you know this, but I also have an accounting job with a local small custom home
I
builder on
did
the
not know that. No, we never talked about that, but
Yeah, I do that as well. And then
because you
my
don't have
both
enough
my
to do.
kids are in lovely travel sports, and this is the thick of the years where travel sports are at an all-time high. So,
And that's what's been keeping you, as we've been talking, that's
yeah,
what's been keeping you
basically.
busier over these last
Yeah,
few months. I think the
yeah.
line that I took out of the last group of texts was, "We're not doing this again,"
Yes, we got to get
whatever.
this done. It's been, I
Yeah,
mean, now we're going into the busy season, so it's now or never at this point. So
right, right.
I'm just
And
happy to get it done, and like we've both been wanting to get it done, and I really enjoy talking to you and getting to see your perspective because you know a lot about what's in the field. You get a lot of hands-on experience in that, so it's good.
I appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah.
One of the things that you mentioned in that conversation was that you were currently training how many employees?
Just this week I'm training 7.
Just this week.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. And
Yeah.
how many would you say fully staffed? Fully staffed, how many would you say at any given time?
So this summer I will have 29 employees.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. Yeah. And
And
seasonal, part-time, full-time, bakers, prep people, baristas. Yeah, we got the whole shebang there.
and that's what I wanted to say because um this is the time of year, so it's mid-May, and
Yeah.
this is one of the reasons why I'm doing the sandwich tour now because May kind of like it's like okay, we had Mother's Day, yes, but
Right.
really after Heritage and then kind of before Memorial
It's
Day,
like
there's
the
this little
lull.
it's a
Mm-hmm.
lull, but at the
Yeah.
same time, for a business like yours, it's also a ramp up period, right?
Correct.
Because you're staffing up for that summer rush that once we hit Memorial Day weekend ish,
Yep.
excuse me,
That's
will
good.
be basically through September, essentially.
Yep. Yeah. No breaks.
Right.
After May, that's it. It's just all hands on deck all the time. And I mean, it's fun. And that's the thing. I love the summer. I try to make it as light and airy and fun as possible for my staff. We have a lot of college kids that come in and, they come in and work their butts off because they want to make that money before they go back to school. And, to make it like a good environment for everybody. I do a lot of spirit weeks at my shop. So I'll let the kids shouldn't say kids, but the staff dress up like Neon Day or Red, White, and Blue Day, or and I buy lunch for them for the entire week. So like I do try to keep it airy and light. I want them to have fun, but also work hard. So that's very important to us.
Work hard, play hard. You're
Correct.
creating that environment.
Yeah.
You're creating that culture where the kids are going to do it because they want to have a
Right.
good job for the summer, but they're also going to have a fun experience.
Right.
I never do this, but I just have to pause this for 1
Yeah.
second. So
No
just give
worries.
me 1 second.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Duty called. And I have obviously, as we've discussed, I have a lot of balls in the air right now.
Yeah. I got it. We're
And
going in.
yes,
Mhm.
exactly. So that was harmless. That was just a yes or no answer. So I got off
Okay.
easy. Things that you have to deal with, roll with it as we do with live television.
Yeah.
So that is part of something that I always really always try to, I feel like you can't overstate it enough. This is and I'm going to get into a lot of detail with this with a couple of interviews that I have coming up with chefs that really want to get into, the challenges of
Yeah.
operating a business in this industry, right? I always make the comparison to, because obviously I'm a sports guy. I'm surrounded by all of my,
Yeah.
all my hobbies and
Memorabilia.
interests. Yes, exactly. A thing that I listen to with a lot of podcasts that I listen to and a lot of stories and things that I follow, is within an organization, within a team, that is one of the most important things is the culture. Yes, you want everybody to work hard, and yes, you want to have fun, try to have some fun along the way when you're doing
Right.
it. But if there's the right culture and you get people to buy into that vision, whether we're talking about, let's say college age kids that are working in a place like this, or, in the sports context, it's like, you have these, young players that are not really, that are coming out of school and things and whatever. It's very easy to get distracted and sidetracked by all the other these things that you have going on, just like you would have when with a young person that has a job at a place like this.
Right.
Their friends want to do this and they got things going on with their family. And I mean, it's Hilton Head. You can start to feel it coming on in May, like that buzz of, and you have spurts where it's like, oh my God, the bicycles are back and all this other kind of stuff. But it's a very high energy, like there's a lot going on type of thing. But they want to get paid for doing a job, but at the same time, your business has a reputation and a following because of the fact that you walk in and you get greeted with a smile and the service is excellent and everything is cheery and bright. And that's why I wanted to pull up. Let me
Thanks.
Let me
That's
do
really
this.
sweet.
Yes. This is where part of this, I mean, and for a food podcast, I love the fact that we we bring visuals into it, because that makes it more fun. But let's see, do I have that here? Yeah. So it's the immediate vibe when you walk in to this place. It's like, okay, this is a beach bakery cafe. And if you I was having a conversation with someone who manages, a bar in like the general vicinity. And it was like, it's very important at these locations that you have people that are going to smile and actually act like they care about,
For sure.
whether it's a bartender or whether it's a barista.
Yep.
We don't need people who are going to show up with a puss on their face, for lack of a better
No,
term,
for sure.
and not make it a pleasant experience for the people that are coming into the store.
Correct.
If this is what you see, and you see a scowl or just a look of somebody that doesn't want to be there, then there's plenty of other places that I can go to get my coffee or to get my indulgent bites, if you will.
Right. It's funny you say it, because one of the main things I say on every interview is, the fact is that if you give somebody a great experience, but a okay product, chances are they're not going to come back and complain. But if you give them a terrible experience and amazing food or product, they're probably going to complain, because it comes down to the service, right? Like, we give a quick service, right? Where they come in the door, we say, hey, can I get you any food or pastries today? They move on to their coffee, they pay, they're out the door. We're a take and go kind of place. And so I stress that to everybody. I don't want to say be an actress or be an actor, but these people are on vacation. Most of the time it's on, like, it's majority of tourists, obviously. So I'm like, they just want to get their coffee, they want to get their food, and they want to go on their way. They want to go to the beach, they want to go shopping, they want to go hang with their family. They're not looking for, this lavish 5-course meal here. They just want to get their stuff, have a great product, have a quick experience, and, be on their way.
I heard a similar thing to what you just said on, I think it was a video that I came across on socials. It's not important where it came from, but the important was the message that it was like, if you go to a place and it was something along the lines of, like, you can't overcome, like, if the food is bad, it's just bad. You can't overcome bad food. But if the food is, let's say, good but not great,
right,
or somewhere in there, that can not necessarily be corrected, but that can be overcome by the experience.
Correct.
In
100%,
other words, someone is, even if they didn't think that the experience, food or drink wise, was over the top, or whatever the case is, a lot of times they're going to come away from that experience, because all the other stuff was so good. it's like,
Yeah.
so maybe, and who knows, maybe if I give it a shot and I go back a second time, maybe the food will be a little bit better.
Right.
But I know that I can depend on the rest of the experience that I got when I was
Right.
there.
Right. Exactly. And people don't want to hand their money over to a bad experience. Like, let's be honest, we all work very
Yeah.
hard for our money. And I'm not willing to give that, over to someone who doesn't care to at least give a decent experience, right? Like, it's a very small portion of time that you're interacting with someone. And that's just a respect, that's just a human decency respect at that point.
Yes, 1,000%.
Yeah.
You talked about people spending their money, and that's a very sensitive subject right now,
Right.
right? And given my more recent experience, which I don't need to get into at this moment, but let's just say I'm very in tune now to, what food costs are and the cost of running a business and running a business well.
Yeah.
We don't want to get into, like, I don't need to get into talking about specific numbers. What I can say is that, I'm very sensitive to, we always get into the pizza conversation and the bagel conversation and so on and so forth. And I had a conversation with an owner in a similar capacity to yours,
Mhm.
in a similar type of business, and it was about just that, because you have a keyboard warrior here or there that's like, oh, I got a this and this on this, and it was, say, $15 or whatever the case
Right.
is. And it's like, yeah, but you had this, which costs this, and this, which costs this, and you have someone making it for you right there in front of you,
Mhm.
fresh. And it's like, I mean to say that there's very little comprehension of everything that goes into setting a price for, like, right now I'm doing these sandwiches.
Yeah.
It's pretty much every single time right now has been running anywhere from $15 to 20 something,
Yeah.
let's say low 20s.
Right.
I don't think about that for a half a second, or I don't think about it for a millisecond,
Right.
because in my mind, if I'm going somewhere to get, whether it's a bacon, egg, and cheese, or whether it's a, lox bagel, or whether it's a, one of these savory donuts that has this, that, and this in it, whatever,
Yeah.
I'm committed. I'm mentally already
That's what you
committed
want. Right.
this is gonna be a $15 to $20
Yeah.
excursion, and I'll probably get a coffee, and I'll probably get one of these and one of those, and then I'm up to like $30-$40. I don't bat an eye, because I have an understanding of what cost goes in,
Right.
what food cost specifically goes into that.
Yeah.
So I'm not one of those people, but it makes it tough on you guys, because again, you have people, well, I could have this for what. Yeah, but you're not there's so many aspects of it that you're not factoring in, like tomatoes lately, right?
Yeah.
The cost of tomatoes have been like through the roof. So now it's like, okay, now I'm taking a hit on, because my costs have gone way up, and because the tomato is more expensive, and of course, gas, this last time I filled up my tank was probably almost $80 for my
Yeah.
charger, which is not a very big gas tank.
Yeah.
So then you factor that into it. How do you, like, and he had a very specific way of interpreting that, because it's like, yes, you're going to have people that are going to complain about that stuff, but the business is doing well, so obviously, like, it was kind of like one of those, I think I'm doing a good enough job because of ABCD, and I'm not going to pay attention to that, and I wouldn't either. The only difference is that I kind of have this, like, I like feel like I carry your, and I'm like a flag bearer for you guys. So I will get into it with people and call them out for, no, you're wrong about this, or no, you haven't considered this or that, because they just don't have a base level of understanding. How do you deal with that constant, especially lately, that constant negativity and pressure on price points in this type of cafe bakery business?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that going out to breakfast is still a luxury, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's still a luxury. Getting a latte, you can have drip coffee at home, right?
Yeah.
But in today's day and age, going out and getting a quote bougie drink is just now a standard. But
Right.
again, it's, milk prices, if people don't realize, are $6 a gallon for, commercial,
Yeah.
establishments. It's not like you're getting residential because you're getting everything delivered to you. So there's also that factor into, just one of the many pieces that's, the whole picture, we'll just say.
Yeah.
Yeah, things aren't actually cheaper for commercial products. And I think that's where a lot of the misconception is. It's like, yeah, well, I can go buy a gallon of milk for $3 at home, but not when you're getting it delivered to your business. And that's one of the hardest things to swallow. Being, first off, me and my husband were never in the food. Well, I shouldn't say me, but my husband and I, as a couple, were never in the food industry. And so a lot of this stuff that we came across, we're like, oh, well, then we'll just go to the store and go pick it up ourselves. Well, that's really tough when you have to get like 90 gallons of milk a week. That would be running to the store 2 to 3 times a day, and just stocking up. And, yeah, we'd get a great workout out of that, but it's also a lot of our time. And so you have to really balance what that means to you. Do you go do it on yourself all the time, or do you just get everything from the distributor where it's one delivery per day? That's the balance that you have to decide what you're going to do.
I know a lot of chefs that have to, and their, their staff and things like that, that have to run out here and there
Run to
quite
the
a bit.
store.
Either it's
Hmm.
because maybe that got shorted something on their order,
Oh yeah.
or because something came up at the last minute and it's like, okay, we got to go run to the store and grab that. Well, I just
Yeah.
want to be on record as saying that again, these are a little blurry on here for in terms of the actual numbers, but I would pay way more than the $6.75 that I frequently pay at your store for my iced chai, because it's
Yeah.
absolutely delicious. And like you
Thank
said,
you.
I'm not making that at home. I did, however, when I went to New Jersey for a couple of days, ship myself a box of stuff from Trader Joe's.
I love that.
And I do like, they have this chai, this like
Yeah.
concentrated chai in a
Hmm.
bottle. Throw a little milk in
Yeah.
there.
I miss Trader Joe's a lot.
I do too, but it still
Yeah.
wasn't as good as yours.
Thank
You guys
you.
have so much good stuff. You got the hot drinks, you got the cold drinks, you got the fraps.
Hmm.
Obviously the hot and savory sandwiches. I'm a big sausage, egg, and cheese guy myself.
Yeah.
But you also have your Jersey style bagels,
Yeah.
the bagel sandwiches as well. Um, I want to talk about, and before I even get to that, um, you know, because you follow my stuff, I'm a sucker for a good special. Another thing that I love, love, love about your place is that you get creative, seasonally,
Yeah.
with your drinks. Much like with the display case of all the delightful, sweets and things like that you have, you get pretty creative
Thank
with
you.
these drinks. What's the process for that? Yeah, is our staff coming up with these ideas? Is it a collaborative effort? How does that work?
So I encourage all my staff to help collaborate on these things. I have them help collaborate on reels because it's important for them to have some kind of ownership too.
Right.
But I will take credit on 75% of that fall menu that we bring forward every year. I'm not so much of bourbon caramel, so that was kind of thrown into the mix, but almonds my jam, brown sugar cinnamon, all that stuff. Plus, you can't go wrong with any kind of pumpkin pie, right? That's just like a standard drink. But the
Sure.
bonfire, the flannel, those are just huge hits for us, and we just bring them back every year, and people can't wait for us to bring them back.
Yeah.
Currently, we have a sea turtle mocha that we've been running for 3 years, and that's a big one. That's butter pecan, salted caramel, and mocha. And people, yeah, really love that one. And then we have the honeybee latte, which is honey, vanilla, and lavender. And so those are our 2 current drinks. And then we'll come up with 2 more for the summer. But sea turtle mocha we'll keep throughout the summer. It's actually more of a year-round drink. People just ask for it all the time. And we carry quite a number of syrups. We even carry pumpkin pie all year round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the struggle that I have is that I come in and I order my drink, and then I'll be like, you know, standing in front of this, and be like, oh, what are, and usually you have them very well labeled and things like that. But sometimes I'll be like, oh, what are those? And I'll get the answer and I'll be like, I didn't even know that that was a thing.
Yeah.
What would you
Those are some
say?
old pictures, but yes, those are definitely some of our things.
Yeah, this I'm taking right off of your
Yeah.
Facebook page here. Yeah, and like I said, constantly evolving in terms of like the stuff that you're coming out with. Look at this
Right.
Rice crispy turkey leg. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
those are a hit during Thanksgiving week.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. What would you say bagel standard donut situation? What are a couple of the on the sweet side? What are the couple of the ones that you would say people keep coming back for?
The Pop Pockets. They are I guess we introduced them like 2 years ago, like a Pop-Tart basically.
Yeah.
And we do a raspberry, an apple cinnamon, a strawberry, and a blueberry. And we make a lot every day.
Yeah.
We probably make about 6 trays a day. So that's one of our most popular. And then protein balls.
Oh, for those of you that are health conscious, you can get your
Yeah.
protein balls there too.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
they're about 26 grams of carbs, give or take. And they're all actually they're vegan and gluten free too. So there are we have 1 or 2 options that are vegan, and gluten free. We have a lot of things.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I was looking for.
Oh yes, that's our refrigerated display.
This is more recent. This is one of my photos.
Yes.
And I just stand in front of this thing and I'm just mesmerized. You got parfaits on top, right?
Yep.
You got cookies, you got
Yeah.
bars.
And then our gluten free stuff like raspberry streusel, ganache brownies, lemon squares. We do eclairs.
See the eclair's hanging out on the bottom. That's that. Remember that Seinfeld episode when the eclair was resting like an angel and George reached the shit out of the garbage can to take a bite. I love all this stuff so much.
Yeah.
This is where it's murder for me because I'm waiting for my drink to be made, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, there was a reason behind all that madness.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. For suckers like me, that by the time I get to the register,
yeah, it's like, can I have a couple more things, please?
Yeah, and then I come home with a shopping bag, and Jocelyn's like, "I told you
I told you not to get that from me." Yeah,
I get in so much trouble for that. Okay, so, oh my god, it's making me hungry. So,
sorry.
No, it's okay, it's okay. The donuts are just absolutely delicious.
Thank you.
I got to get back over and see you next week so that I can eat some. Maybe
yeah.
I might not even wait until next week. I'm going to be
back
down there these
next
couple of days, so I'm going to pop by. Okay, location number 2. Let's talk about that because you and I got into it a little bit last year, but this was kind of like still kind of an in progress thing at the time. So talk about that.
So we had talked with Beach House about 2 years ago. They approached us and they said they wanted to put some kind of coffee shop in their hotel. They're becoming a boutique hotel and they wanted some more personalized experience for their guests. And so we decided, hey, why not? People were concerned that it would take away from our business at Coligny, and there are so many people on the island that it does not pull away from our business at all. We have a similar menu there. We actually incorporated more beach-friendly, healthier options like fresh fruit smoothies and acai bowls. We still do the coffee drinks there. We still do the sandwiches and pastries and donuts and all that good stuff. But people on the beach at lunchtime don't always want to go and grab that, heavy thing. So they come up and they get the acai bowls with the fruit on top and, the drizzles and granola and all that good stuff. Or they come in and get smoothies, which I have named after my children. And they're very popular, really good, fresh fruit, all that. So, and we love it. And now we're going to actually be doing gelato over there. So, and we're going to be open late nights, a few nights a week so that, that crowd that wants to go hang out at the bar, listen to music, they have something to kind of treat on over there. So a Tiki Hut.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You don't have a standalone page for that one, right? It's just it's
just all connected. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, I was looking at this menu. I'm having trouble like pumping it up, but I didn't even know.
We have all our menu like links through our link tree QR
Yeah.
code. So that's all separated in that manner. But on our
So you
page, we
can
don't.
anybody can find them on your socials on
Yep.
Instagram or Facebook. Go check them
Yep.
out. Sweet Owls on the Beach. You got your hot drinks. If in the morning it's a little chilly outside on the beach, you got your hot drinks.
Yep.
Afternoon, you got your cold drinks. Again, all the different flavors, all the different fraps. I did not know about the bowl situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for one of those.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. We do
yeah.
waffles over there. So now we're going to do waffles with gelato. That's going to be yum. Yeah. Fresh waffles.
I see it
and
now.
gelato.
Fusion smoothies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
baby. This is great. It's not big enough for me to put it up, but again, you can find it on
Yeah.
the Sweet Owls Facebook page, and you can find it on the Sweet Owls Instagram page as well. That's awesome. So, what is, I don't like, not necessarily like what's next, but other than the upcoming summer rush and the how does it work with I would assume with the homeschool, we're probably coming up on the summer.
Tomorrow is
break.
our last day,
Oh,
thankfully.
that's great. Okay. So your
Yeah.
schedule's going to lighten up. The sports kind of like
Yes.
slow down a little bit. The
So I'm going
school.
North Carolina this weekend. That's our last of our competition.
Okay.
Our last travel baseball is Memorial Day weekend, and May is kind of ending and starting both kind of sides. So
Awesome.
yeah.
What do you have? Is there anything that you guys have coming up in terms of like, anything that you have planned for, the business per se, whether it's either location or anything that you are looking forward to doing, or anything that you have, anything else that you want to touch on in that neighborhood?
So we're always open to future opportunities. I think that, being on the island, I find so many little pockets of things that I think that we could really use up here, or down here, I should say, and things that we always keep kind of our eyes open and ears out for literally everything. But right now we don't have anything in the works.
Okay.
But we're always thinking about something different. So
Right on.
yeah.
Well, you're definitely thinking about something different inside those walls with the great stuff that you're coming up with. And like we talked about when we started the conversation, we kind of think about this stuff like, as people that are, in and around this business and this unique market that we have.
Mhm.
Owls has become a favorite for locals and tourists alike. And like you said, you never probably would have imagined when you guys were starting out your first business and this was something new,
Yeah.
that here in 2026 that you would have two of them.
No.
And
didn't.
not just two of them, but two of them that are not exactly alike.
Right.
One that you had to pivot on the fly. And so I say all this because this journey takes us on different twists and turns. And sometimes in the greatest of ways, we end up where we end up with something that we never would have imagined.
Right.
But it all is the product of hard work and creativity. And for people like you and me, even when you finally do get time here and there to relax and kick your feet up and take a breath, there's still a couple of wheels in there that are turning.
Always.
Whether it's, staff related, or whether it's,
Yep.
menu related, or et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
That flow, if you will, never stops.
No.
Okay. So I don't want to keep you for too long, but I
That's
can't
okay.
let you go without talking about some food.
Sure.
So, as I always like to ask my guests that are kind enough to join me on this program, what would you say? I always leave it like pretty open-ended. Anything particular that you have been really enjoying recently? Anything that maybe you haven't tried yet that's on your radar that you would like to try? It could be going out type of thing. It could be a staying in type of thing. What is something that is kind of been on your mind lately, whether it's have enjoyed or looking forward to enjoying?
So, my husband's a great cook, and we do eat in a lot. I actually don't really cook much at all because he's so good. It's
Good
not
for
even
you.
worth it.
Good for you.
So, I'm spoiled in that manner, but when we do decide to indulge in some outside
Right.
experiences, some of our favorites are actually, it's Greek to me. We love their Greek salad and their Caesar salad. That's like a staple for us.
Real quick,
Also,
real
what?
quick.
Hmm.
I'm a big soup guy, right? We did soup
Yeah,
to tour in the fall. That avgalomono soup
I
is
think
also
Al's had
very
that.
good. It's
Yeah,
it, it's very good.
I'm gonna have to try it.
Yes, I've had the avgalomono from um from there. I
Hmm.
loved it. I've had it from my friends at Two Birds Greek Street Food. She made a very good one. Chef Munjid at Olive and Fig, his is a little bit different. I feel like it was like lemon and chicken, he called it. Similar concept, but it
Yeah,
was a slightly different style. I don't know that I had ever had an avgalomono or a lemon chicken soup prior to last year. Those are the three that I can think of off the top of my head, but that's definitely something. See,
yeah,
in New Jersey, remember, didn't we have It's Greek to Me like in malls that were like part of a chain? I feel,
yeah. I mean, it
but this is
sounds so
not. This
like,
is an
yeah.
independently owned restaurant.
I think so. Because it sounded familiar to me down here when I first came down,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Is that like a franchise?" And then I was like, "No,
I feel
that's
like there
definitely
was
not a
one in
franchise."
like Wayne Hills because I used to work in Little
Yeah,
Falls and we used to go to the food court, and I feel like there was an It's Greek to Me there. But
yeah.
again, not affiliated with that. That's a
Nope.
good spot. But I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue,
Yeah,
please.
no, no, that one's really good. Also, we've eaten it a couple times in the last 2 months at Cactus Street Cantina. I love that place. I think it's, again, it's kind of more of like you can sit there and it's a restaurant, but we take to go for the most part because we're just always on the go and they're quick. And again, they are also reasonably priced, I believe, in my opinion, for what they are and their freshness and quickness. I think it's really great.
100% agree.
Hmm.
They participated in the soup de tour with the chicken tortilla soup, which is very good.
Yeah.
I love it when businesses keep showing me the food.
Right.
And whoever's doing it for Cactus Street Cantina is doing a good job. They're in on the Enjoy Every Sandwich tour with their Cuban sandwich, excuse me, which I'm excited for. I'll hopefully get around to that by early next week. I got like 30 something more sandwiches to record. It's aggressive, but I'm gonna get it done.
It is.
They showed me, today's the 13th, so Monday they show me their birria tacos with the consomme to dip it in. I love that they do the charity of the month. If you buy the bowls, it
Yes.
goes towards the
Hmm.
charity of the month. CH2, Barry Kaufman did a feature on that just a couple of days ago. They shared that on their page. I love everything up to and including the sign behind the bar that always has something funny
Yeah.
about tequila or this or
Yeah.
that. These guys are great. I love the ceviche. I love like I said, the bowls, which at any
Yeah.
given
The
month
bowls are
goes towards a
awesome.
specific charity.
Yeah.
Yep.
The thing is so believe it or not, my husband and I did keto for a good year and a half, being strict. When we
Yeah.
first bought the business in 2022, we both gained 25 pounds, already being kind of overweight. We were like, I don't think this is going to be sustainable if we
It's tough when
continue
you're
this
surrounded by
journey.
bagels and donuts
Yeah.
all day, every day. That's murder, dude.
Yeah, so we both ended up doing keto, real strict, and we both lost 65 pounds. Um, and so we do try, we're not as strict anymore, but we do try to like limit our carb intake. And the thing I love about Cactus Street Cantina is you can get their cauliflower rice substituted for all their bowls. And it's like the lime, cauliflower, cilantro rice. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's a good staple for me. Again, it's Greek to me, the Caesar salad, grilled chicken, no croutons. So like I do
Yeah.
try to err on the side of as lesser carbs, I should say.
When I'm eating Asian food or bowl type situations,
Hmm.
I really, and it frustrates me sometimes when I don't have that option, because I jokingly say all killer, no filler, right?
Yeah.
I don't really need my poke bowl to have a pile of white rice underneath
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I don't really like plain rice. And I don't necessarily, I do like fried rice. I just had some amazing fried
Yeah.
rice today at Ruan that had some shrimp and lobster. It was spectacular.
That sounds good.
Yeah, very good. So there are the nights that I like to have my, whatever it is, shrimp fried rice, chicken fried rice, crab rice, whatever it is. But if I'm having a bowl or something like that, I love when they give me the option that I can substitute the greens and I don't have to go with, a rice or even a rice alternative.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have the greens.
Yeah.
And when I do sushi, honestly, I might throw in a roll if there's a specific roll that's tickling my fancy. But we used to be the couple that would order like, 6 or 7 or 8 rolls and share them. We have gone to strictly, Jocelyn usually goes chirashi dinner, which yes, does have the rice as an element to that. I go straight sashimi. Where it's literally just give me all the raw fish I can handle.
Exactly.
And that's all I need. Give me that and a little ramekin of soy sauce. And I do like to do a couple
ginger
of those,
wasabi, throw it all in and we're good to go. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm a kind of salad person too, so I'll throw one of those up there as well. But I just want, like I said, all killer, no filler. I don't need all the rice and all the other nonsense. And that's coming from a tried and true, Italian that grew up with pasta at least once or twice a week. Right?
I mean, listen, I homage to this hair today for the Jersey Shore look. Like I literally grew up at the Jersey Shore.
Hell yeah.
So Italian is, and I don't even know if you knew this, but my grandfather actually owned the Seaside Boardwalk where Jersey Shore was filmed. Yes. So I grew up in the food industry. Yes. On the boardwalk I was the fist pumping, club going girl type of thing down, back then. And I swore I'd never get into food. And then, here is my husband. We came down here during COVID for vacation and he's like, we're moving. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm buying a coffee shop. I'm like, no. I'm like, no, you ain't. And we did. And, the rest is history.
I love that.
Yeah.
We had our senior prom. It's a sad, senior prom is not a good memory for me personally.
Oh, goodness.
But we had we had prom weekend. We stayed at one of those disgusting hotels like the Seashell or something like that.
Yeah.
I just remember like after the couple of days were over, I mean, don't get me wrong, we had a lot of fun, but I
good times.
Like my girlfriend and I broke up that weekend. It was a whole big thing.
Lots of that happened.
It's a lot of that stuff. But I just distinctly remember, everybody knows what's going on, right? So we rent these hotel rooms, we got cases and cases of beer and everything like that. And I'll never forget that I was in one of the rooms that the owners of the hotel or whomever it was knocked on the door, and we were all sitting in the room. There might have been some extracurricular activities going on. But what I do remember distinctly is when they cleared out that room and we just went back to our room or went back to the beach or whatever it was that we did, when they cleared out my friend's room, they took all their beer. And I just remember like a day or two later checking out of that hotel. I wasn't mad because it wasn't my beer. Our beer was we were the only room in the hotel that had the full fridge. So we had friends renting out space in our fridge for their beer. But they busted it up and they took all the beer. And then like the next day or a day or two later, we went to go check out. And I swear to you, they had it all stacked up like right behind the front desk in the office of the thing. Like they literally just
like they do it on purpose, right?
They didn't kick him out of I don't even think they kicked him out. They just took all their beer, kept it for themselves.
That's amazing.
How you doing? Keep it moving and whatever. The shore brings back very fond memories for me overall. What's sad about it is that when Matthew was down here, Sandy was up. When Sandy happened, I used to go to my friend's family had a bungalow in Normandy, right next to the Ocean Club, the old Thunderbird right there.
Yeah.
Literally, they were backed up on there. So it was their little 2-bedroom bungalow, little outside deck area, the fence, and then the Ocean Club right next to there. And I did a family vacation or two at the Ocean, but I was always whether it was family or friends, I was always somewhere between, let's say, Point Pleasant and, if worse comes to worse, Seaside. No disrespect to Dad. But and then of course when you would go out, you would go to Big Bamboo and this and that and whatever. Not really my scene. I was more sit out behind the house, whatever you're doing, drinking
Yep.
beers, hanging out. If you were on the bay side, like that's where I wanted to be. I just wanted to
Yeah.
be on the bay, on the dock. And that's really where some of my best memories come from, which is like after graduating college, one of my roommates, and one of my close friends from growing up both had houses on that same street. It was the first block when you pulled
Yeah.
into Lavalette, Bryn Mawr Avenue.
Yeah. I
One
know
was
it
about
well.
halfway down,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other ones were all the way down at the end of the street. I'm pretty sure they still have both, but I just remember like how messed up the stories were. And then even just going like after that happened, I never really went back because yes, the one summer I think I had an event or something down there, and I did the drive down 35, and I just remember seeing houses upside down,
Yeah.
and
It was
just
sad.
it was very
Really,
sad.
really devastating. Yeah.
And because most of these, you know, older generation
Mhm.
Italian families, it
Tradition.
was his
Yep.
grandmother's
Traditional
house
home.
that was
Yep.
passed on to his parents.
Yep.
And a lot of these homes, correct me if I'm wrong, the thought process was if you owned the house outright and you didn't have a mortgage, then a
I
lot of
don't
these
think you had
people
the
were like,
insurance to
exactly, because
rebuild. Yes.
you think that it's like it's the illusion that it's basically a self-insured property
Right.
because there is no mortgage on the home.
Right.
So it's just was staggering how many people just walked on
Yeah.
these houses and just never
Yeah.
went back.
Yep.
I also distinctly remember, not to get too long-winded about it, but it's a very emotional thing to me. The middle there, because that's kind of where it splits off, where like used to be's or whatever that's
Yep.
called now.
Yep. Right at the
That's kind of
split. Yep.
exactly. I just remember there being the story was that the one guy that lived on one of the homes right in between there, right next to the
Mm-hmm.
parking lot. If there was one car, we could fit it next to the bungalow. If there was more than one car, we had to park in that lot that was in the middle section there between north
Okay.
and
Yeah.
south, right across from the hotel. But one of the guys that lived in one of those houses, he watched, literally just sat there and he watched the whole thing. And what was crazy about it was like, so like everything's gone. um the sand, you can see the refrigerator like sticking out of the top of the sand,
Mm-hmm.
but then like 5 feet from that is like where the kitchen table was, and like a lobster pot underneath it, but like that was still there,
Yeah.
just like
It was a
bizarre.
very weird, yes, like where the lines were drawn and things were disheveled and
And it wasn't that everything washed out. I mean, most of
no.
Normandy burned
Yes.
before it washed out. Most of
Yeah.
it, there was
That was that
because
was
of
the
the
biggest
wind.
issues was the burns for sure. The
Yeah.
gas was exploding everywhere and people's homes were just literally up in flames. It was a devastating time that night. So I grew up in Point Pleasant and I was living in Jackson at the time during Sandy, and I just moved into my home with my husband, and we weren't even in there 2 weeks, and I had 21 people in my house and 7 dogs that night because everybody from my parents' neighbors, they all came to my house because we were kind of inland. And my brother had a newborn baby that was like 3 weeks old. We just took shelter there. And my mom, she lost 2 cars. Like they're, even in Point Pleasant, they lost a ton of things. So
Yeah,
crazy times.
it was just awful.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of those bungalows were land lease situations too. So
Yes.
like I just remember like my friend's parents were involved in some process where at some point they were gonna like, knock the bungalows
Yep.
down and maybe build like condos, like because the people that would level theirs, they would build them up so that they
Yep.
could guard
And that was
against
a
it in the
huge
future.
thing after that.
It was
All
a
these
huge
businesses
thing.
came in and they were like, we can put your house up. And you're like, but do you have experience? And
Right.
that was a big thing at that point. So
Yeah. So the whole thing, the Camp Osborne, where this was located, I don't know if it ever like I think everybody just kind of like walked on like all
mhm.
those homeowners that were leasing the land for their individually owned bungalows and whatnot. Everybody just kind of like walked on the whole situation. What was
Yeah.
really sad too
It's
was
sad.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
for
like
sure.
I remember, and I think it might have been, I think it might have been Sandy, or it was either that or the other big one, but I think it was Sandy. I remember like my friend from work, like Ryan, his wife's parents had just bought a house that they put all this work into. And I just remember like the emotion of like when they were taking one of those trips that they were letting them to go down to survey the damage, where like the thing that they park the wave runners is up against the house, and this is gone, and this is this, and it like his grandfather or his father-in-law just was like overcome with emotion because they had put so much time into like getting this house exactly where they wanted it to be, and it was almost like you had to like start over. But what was really, really sad was like, you know, like on LBI where they would stop letting people come over the bridge, and like you hear about like the woman went out and her dog was on a leash, and she went to go back to get her dog and they wouldn't let her, like stories like that left and right.
So many devastating stories, especially that. I mean, people were on the roofs and all the other things as well. So
very, very sad. So I have, like I said, I have fond memories of it, but
me
in
too.
the handful of years that I was still up there, I really didn't go like, and I think maybe I made it back down to LBI maybe once or twice or something. I have so many great memories from my childhood, both in that stretch of area from, like I said, Point Pleasant down to Lavalette and Seaside. And then we used to go back and forth. We would do a week in LBI one summer, and then we would do like the Outer Banks the next summer with my friends, and we would kind of go bouncing back and forth for that. Cool. In more recent times, I would love it when his family wasn't using their bungalow and it was still there, and I could go down for the weekend with my wife, and I could go to, because this is when I start becoming a restaurant aficionado. So I would go down, and it would be like, I can't remember the names of the places, but I remember there was one place in the middle in between North and South there that had really good sushi. I remember there was that, and there was might have been, yeah.
Is it right over the bridge in Tom's River?
No, not in Tom's River. Okay. This was down on when you were, this was down, it was past Normandy.
Okay.
Like before you got to Lavalette. There was a place in the middle, like remember there was Charlie's Farm Market.
Yeah.
And then there was a place a little bit further down in the middle that had like really good wines and like fish and some raw crudos and things like that. I can't remember the name of it, but
I don't know that one either.
Or going to like those delis and just getting, you know, the Italian sandwiches and everything like that. All right, so we brought it back to food for those of you who didn't like that little quick diversion. I enjoyed it, and I have comments here. My friend Jen Bilsey was on the other day. She says, I love this story. My buddy Chris Vion, who's a podcaster himself, says awesome stories, brings back great memories. Because of course every once in a while we would stay at Andrew's house, and it would be like the guys' weekend, and we would be out doing the stuff at, you know, Temptations and Big Bamboo and all that other kind of stuff.
A bit, well, this is up in Sayreville, but yeah, Temptations, Bamboo, Hemingway's. I don't know if you ever went to Hemingway's. That was a little bit. Yes.
There was a period of time where a friend of mine who I lived with, his friend, older guy, friends of theirs, had a house that they shared in Lavalette, and they did a bike tour, and one guy's name was Trip, and they did a thing called Tour de Trip, where they would get out, they would have a barbecue at the house, then they would get on their bicycles and go all the way down to whatever the furthest bar was in Ortley, and
every
then make
year
their way back.
In Point Pleasant and Seaside and Lavalette. They do that every year. Yeah. I have tons of friends that do it still to this day.
And it starts out with like 100 people, but then like the amount of people that actually make it back to the house. That was when I pulled my signature move, right? I had another thing going on that weekend that was like some sort of a bachelor party. And it was one of those weekends where I just decided to do all the things. So I went to my friend's bachelor party. I left there. Then I went to the bike tour, but I did a jump in for a couple of bars and then jump out because I don't have a lot of patience.
How many bars did you make it to?
I probably would say maybe about 5 or 6, a half a dozen or so, somewhere in there. I know that I dropped off somewhere between Seaside and like I wasn't there for like the crab. What's the crab one that's right on the main drag there? I want to say Crazy Crab, but that's up here. No. Crab House or Crab whatever.
Shack, something. Yeah,
something like that.
Oh my God, my aunt worked there when I was younger.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like
the big white building.
Yes.
On the northbound side. Oh my God.
Something Crab.
Yeah.
So I mean I did make it back and I crashed at the house, but I don't have a lot of patience for when you get towards the end of those nights and people are getting like unbearable and they're wobbling,
the Irish goodbye just out
off of the boardwalk and shit like that. But the thing is, I will say about programs like that, like Jersey Shore. Like, yeah, now it's unbearable. I can't watch it, and it's not like it was good quality television to begin with. But for one, I like to indulge in those guilty pleasures because I like to watch things, excuse me, that remind me of parts and times of my life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I like the fact that like even I'll watch Southern Charm because it takes place, a couple hours away from here, and
Right.
maybe I'll think of a restaurant that I might want to try or something like that. It's cool to watch things that kind of
Yeah.
give you, like, even just when we used to watch The Sopranos, and it was like, oh, I used to go to that sandwich shop, or I used to do that nostalgia trip sometimes is a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it's also relatable to other people to understand, like, I mean, obviously a lot of people get a different impression of what the Jersey Shore was, but I mean, it was that. They just were just living it, for the cameras, a little bit more extreme than others.
Extreme is the operative word. Yeah, there's truths in there, but they really kind of just took it to the nth degree.
Yeah, but like, I mean, truth be told, at 13 years old, I was going to clubs because they had teen clubs,
Yeah.
I mean, and that was kind of crazy. I think it was called XS at that time.
I remember. I think it was X. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. XS, right?
Yeah.
And my mom would drop me off, and she'd come back and pick me up, and it was a bunch of us, and we'd just go dancing, and we were 13 years old. I mean, I'm so glad I live down here where my kids will have no social life after 9:00.
I mean, and that is true too. Yeah. It's a much different experience. I just saw somebody commenting the other day, or somebody posted something. Oh, what's the deal with that? And yes, there are the places you can go, the Cool Cats and places like that, but that's not what Hilton Head's like. You'll get a little bit more of that opportunity in Savannah. No disrespect towards the River Street businesses. It's just not real where I spend a lot of time, especially when it comes to late nights and things like that. I'm more of a Starland Sandfly type of person myself, away from all of the madness. But yeah, that was a fun trip down memory lane. Yeah, for sure. I knew that we were going to probably get into some Jersey stuff.
Yeah, of course.
While we were doing this, I went up for the week. I got a couple of the sandwiches that I wanted. There was one Italian place that I used to love going to that I was trying to work into the trip, but I wasn't able to make it happen.
Talaricio's?
No, but it's funny that you mentioned that, because
have you tried that place yet?
No, I haven't.
We did, honestly, on our last trip. So good.
Before I went back, my buddy Nick mentioned it, and he did say, "Oh, while you're home, we got to take a trip there." And then I'm sure, much because my phone's spying on me, I'm pretty sure that's why I've been starting to see their videos come up on my feed. Then I go up there and I stay with my cousin for about a week. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I play all the hits, specifically with my Italian delis when I go up there. And I said, like, this was like boot camp for the sandwich tour, because I went back. I was, that Michael McConaughey commercial. That's what I call it. Like, sometimes you got to go look back to move forward. And I went to my Angelina's, and I went to my my Grosso's La Strada, and I hit my spots. But it's like I said, it's always fun to go and do that stuff. But all of a sudden I come back, and now I got my cousin sending me Talaricio's stuff. So it's got to be the universe is sending me a sign that yes, I do have to sending us a sign.
Talaricio's needs to come down here.
Where is that place again?
Middletown area.
Okay.
Yep. Really good. I mean, but they got their sketch too, like if you're a new person, you ring the bell in there, you get some free fried raviolis. Like, it's just a fun experience. I mean, the food's really good, don't get me wrong, but it's also like a really interactive spiel. So it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into too much detail, but I will. I'll just tell you this. You said something there, like we need to get them down here. Remember that you said that.
I will remember that.
All I'm gonna say.
I'm holding you to that.
I will continue that conversation.
Okay.
Offline. How about that?
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. All right, we're pushing up on an hour. I gotta let you go. Before I do, anything else that you want to plug? Anything else that you want to mention or talk about?
We
covered a lot.
We did cover a lot. I am thankful for that. And no, I mean, come in and try us out if you haven't already. Me and my husband are always there. I feel like part of the success of the business that you guys can always find us there to make sure that you're getting a good experience. That's really important to us. I think that this island thrives on local interaction rather than corporate. And we actually love being there. So it's kind of like in our environment. I mean, I did not came from corporate accounting world, and here I am, baristaing and running a great place. So I love it. I'm excited to see what our future brings for new opportunities and stuff like that. But and also it's so weird. I tell everybody this, I'll kind of end with this, but coming down from Jersey, you definitely have a certain type of status, right? You're like a little rough and I still have a lot of my Jersey flair. Let me go with that, right? But here, I feel like it just kind of like gets a little bit more polished or just softer. And I just really do love it down here. My mom is always like, when are you gonna, will you ever move up here? And I said, no, I don't even want to visit you, let alone move up there. Like I'm here, so Hilton Head's calling, come on down, but I will not be moving up back to New Jersey ever again. So I'm really thankful for what we've built, and I really couldn't do that without actually our local community too, because I feel like it's a small community, right? Like you feel that really quickly, and I think that that's the biggest thing here is you never want to talk bad about people, and also there are so many people that are willing to just be there for you, and I really love that about around here.
Yes.
Yeah,
I agree. There's definitely a sense of community. Obviously, I live out here in Bluffton. It's a little bit different out here, but there definitely is still that Bluffton is a state of mind thing that you got going on. But even amongst the large influx of tourists that we get every year, which I never complain about because I was one.
Me neither. I grew up in it.
Exactly. I always say I've been coming down here since I was 10 years old. I decided to make it a permanent move, just over 5 years ago. But you hit the nail on the head. It's not that I'm not proud of where I'm from. I am proud of where I'm from, but I just got to a certain point where, and I've told this story ad nauseum a million times. I was in the best mood that I would ever be in was when I was, let's say that I had flown into Savannah and spent the night with my wife and gone out to dinner and did my little 24 to 36 hour jaunt before my family rolled into town, or whether it was coming in together with my family. The best mood that I was ever in was when I was driving over the bridge onto Hilton Head Island or coming up on it, coming through Bluffton, which I never knew that's where I would end up living. But I love it here. And the worst mood that I was ever in was when I had to come back over the bridge to go back to the airport to go home.
Go back to dirty Jersey.
Exactly. And I loved where I grew up. And other than the 4 years that I was away in, at school in Boston, which was a blast. And I as much as I love and had a lot of fun up north, that was the last thing that I was looking to do, was to go further north and be colder and all that kind of stuff. Like I have in-laws that live up in Portland, Maine. I'm happy to go there before it gets cold, but even though all my snow stuff is up there, hopefully I don't ever have to use it. I loved this place to begin with, and it was my favorite part of the year to come down here. And then I got to introduce it to my wife, who was then eventually got the master's in sustainability studies, and the project was oyster shell recycling and oyster reef restoration. And she fell in love with this place with me, and the food was a large part of that. So I just got to a point, and it was a combination of things. I mean, yes, it was my father-in-law passing away suddenly, which we're coming up on literally just over 10 years ago that happened. And that was like when we had been talking about the fact that we wanted to do this. Once that happened, it was like, well, why are we going to wait to do this? And then I just had some scheming and, some engineering to do to then get my family on board, because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to really pull that off unless I got. Now, my mom, you didn't need to twist her arm to be able to walk on the beach and go out to lunch and do all the stuff that she does. My dad took a little bit more work, but then my dad, had a stroke at the end of 2021. And instead of recovering in New Jersey through another harsh winter, he was recovering in Hilton Head.
Right.
And
With
so,
lots of
and then
fun, all the good stuff.
exactly. And, you know, as
Yep,
working as a couple days a week as a ranger on the golf course and the Italian American Club and the Knights of Columbus
that's
and all.
awesome.
I mean, sometimes I say my parents have like a busier social life than I do. And then a year later, I got my sister and my brother to move down here, and they're homeowners, which probably wouldn't have happened if they stayed in New Jersey. And it's a debt of gratitude that I have
Yeah,
for the fact that we decided to make that happen, and again made it happen so that I didn't have to be also away from my family. And then, you know, right now we're in a tough spot because we got the cat, more so the Juno. You know, we can board her even though it's expensive. I love
yeah,
May River Pet Resort and they take great care of her. I got to get something figured out for this cat because he's the sweetest thing ever, but he's also a demon. And it's not one of those things where I can have someone just come and feed him once a day. He really needs like more attention than that because we had him since he was like a kitten. I say all that to say, hopefully I'll get back up to Portland at some point so that I can eat all my good stuff up there and hang out with
there
my
you
brothers
go.
at their cheese shop and all that other kind of stuff. But outside of that, we head into summertime, and this is a time of the year that brings back many fond memories for us, which is how we fell in love with this place. Being on Hilton Head, I mentioned it before, just to bring it full circle, the buzz that's down on the south end of the island, you can feel it coming on already. I can't even believe that next weekend is Memorial Day
I know,
weekend, which is
crazy.
yeah, that's that. My
It's very
birthday is the
crazy.
May 26th, which is usually sometime in the midst of Memorial. This year, Memorial Day is
Early.
over by the time my
Yeah,
birthday comes around on Tuesday. I can't believe that that's literally a week and change away. But I say all that to say that for anybody that is a fan of, whether they are the local that's been here a certain amount of years, whether they're newer to the area, whether they're just the timeshare people or the vacation people, Coligny is a landmark place, and you guys have really taken ownership as that beachside anchor of Coligny Plaza. And you mentioned like Ryan before. Who was that? No, I apologize. I met with my friend Meg James today, and she mentioned Ryan. Ryan, who does as good a job of anybody on the socials promoting businesses.
hmm,
I mean, and I know he covers a pretty large area, but this guy lives out here by me, and he hits up your place like I feel like 3 or 4 times a week. Just
yes, and we,
a testament to how busy and hard of a worker he is, but
yeah,
also a testament to, if you're getting love from out here on 170, like you know that you're doing something right.
yeah.
And
Ryan's
it
been great to us, and we
yes,
met him over, the New Jersey,
it's that Jersey
it's the
thing
Jersey thing. We
again.
all come together, and yeah, I mean, he loves the protein bowls. He loves the acai bowls. He brings up
Yeah.
his wife and his kids, and we just love them. So,
We finished how we started. I'm grateful to. I know Joe, the barber, Joe the Clip, as Ryan calls him, is no longer with us.
yep.
But if it wasn't for Joe, that I wouldn't have met Lena, who does a great job making me look so good. I was talking to you about how much I loved my haircut this weekend. That's why I posted a picture of it the other day. If it wasn't for Joe, then I don't. He's like, oh, you need to get your car washed. You need to talk to Palmetto Buff Brian. And
Right,
then
Ryan's.
I
Yeah.
talked to Palmetto Buff Brian, and it's like, oh, and then from him, I mean, I posted a really funny picture, and I'm gonna close it down in a second, but I posted a really funny picture a couple of years ago that had a lot of people laughing. There's a wrestling group that's called the Four Horsemen, and they hold up the
Hmm.
fours, and it's like Ric Flair and these couple other guys. So I took these big muscle bound wrestlers and I put my face, Ryan's face,
I
Brian's
think I
face,
actually
and Joe's
remember that
face.
picture. Yeah.
And their wives were like, what is going
What is
on?
going on? Yeah.
These are things that I just like to have fun with. But it really, that was my weird wrestling freak way of saying, here are these 4 guys that came here
Good
from New
guys.
Jersey,
Yeah.
and each in their own way created a new life for themselves. And granted, a couple of us had to reinvent ourselves. I mean, and so is Ryan too. I mean, he started a
Yep.
shower company in the midst of running the builder
All the
business.
other things. Yes.
Exactly, and that's
Hustler,
what.
right?
Yes,
Theme word,
exactly,
hustler. Right.
100%, and that's really what it comes back to. We'll we'll,
Hmm.
we'll close it out with that. It's that hustle, it's that drive, and it's that that desire to make a better life for you, for your family, for your children. But
Right.
again, like we said, also having some fun along the way and
Yep.
creating that culture that makes you want to be there. And you said something that's
Absolutely.
very important too. You, and it's 100% accurate, because every time that I've ever been there, unless it's one of those odd situations where it's late in the day and you're driving
Yeah.
and picking up and doing stuff like that, it is true. You or Al are always there. Sometimes
Yeah.
you're both there, but it's usually one or the other are there. And it's not because you don't have a staff that you trust, because they're holding it down.
They are
But
holding it down. Yep.
it is a true family operation.
Right.
And all I can say is that very proud, and I'm
Thank you.
very fortunate to be let's call me like one of these cousins, right? Like we
Yeah.
have us
You got
Italians.
it. Yeah.
I'm very fortunate to
Absolutely.
be one of
Aunt,
these like
cousin.
inherited,
Yes.
grandfathered in
Yes.
cousins. I love the fact that we talk Jersey, not the show, but just the shore in general. We got our new shore now, and we got,
Yes.
just like you would
This is
have
it.
back in the day, you Jersey people. You go get your bagel, you go get your. I shipped Jocelyn an entire crumb cake from Gencarelli's when I went up to New Jersey.
We are now making a blueberry crumb cake, and it's fabulous.
It
so
has
you got to come in and try
blueberry crumbs.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes, with blueberry filling inside and little blueberry. Oh, it's very good. It's very good.
I told you I'm coming tomorrow.
Yep.
Forget about it. All right, buddy. Well, we did it.
Right.
Thank you so much. We went
so
over
nice
an
talking
hour.
to you. Tell Jocelyn I said hi.
I will. 1,000%.
I appreciate this.
I know I just saw Al, but tell him I said hello as well.
I absolutely will.
Let's do another one down the road, because I think we can have some more fun.
Maybe in the fall when we get slower again.
Right on. Yeah, because I knew if I didn't get you before the end of May, I was screwed.
It's my life's over in a couple weeks, so it's fine.
Well, I will say
it's a good over. I like it.
It is. And yes, at least up until Memorial Day and up until the end of the month, but things start to get crazy.
Yeah.
Do take advantage of the time that you have post school, post sports.
I will try my best.
Just breathe a little bit for me. Okay?
Yeah, I appreciate that for sure.
All right, buddy.
All right. Well, thanks, Nick.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Take care.
Guys, I'm going to let Toniann go. That was absolutely awesome. What a fun time to be able to talk about all of this food and bev business stuff, but then at the same time, be able to get into some nostalgia talk. I know Tony Soprano once famously said, "Remember when is the lowest form of conversation," but those experiences make us who we are. And my friend Chris said it best. Awesome stories brings back great memories. I appreciate that. I appreciate Jen and those comments and your support. I knew that was going to be a lot of fun. Toniann is one of my favorites, and I am super, super pumped to see them killing it down there, because they deserve every ounce of it with the effort that they put in to their business and to the culture of their business, more importantly. All right, I was going to take this off, but I'm not going to take it off, because before I let you guys go and before I go enjoy some Wednesday night dynamite, as I usually do, I want to bring up the website, theindulgentislander.com. You're just going to go to the upcoming events page and you scroll down. It has the whole thing on there, but if you click one more through, you'll get to the Enjoy Every Sandwich page. Again, just quick recap on the rules. We have the featured sandwich or sandwiches. Again, a couple of these places are doing 2. You visit them, you order as many of the sandwiches as you can, or enjoy as many of them as you can along the way. Tag the Indulgent Islander, whether it's the Indulgent Islander on Facebook, on your video or your photo. I know it's going to be more photo centric, but either way, post that on Facebook, tag the Indulgent Islander, post that on Instagram, tag me at EAT, tag us at EATHHI. This is not a one-man operation. It is a true family endeavor, just like we talked about with Toniann. Along with the hashtag Enjoy Every Sandwich to enter to win. I'm going to share over the next couple of days a picture that I took of the super SOUPER sized grand prize that my friend Amber Cole won for the Soup de Tour. It was a haul, right? A lot of the restaurants and food trucks and businesses donated gift cards, and we had wine and, tequila from Cactus Street Cantina, and we had a cutting board from Low Country Kitchen, and we had beautiful decorative, I would call them like kitchen or hand towel type of things from Charlie's Latois, and a lot of really, really generous things that were contributed. So enter for your chance to win between now and May 31st. We have the full list of sandwiches that are available here on the website. I posted them on the pages as well. I'm not going to go through them all again now because, again, it's getting late. I'm getting tired. But we have the full list that's on here. As soon as I get off of this recording, we're going to add, again, Food Savvy. Wendell throws his hat in the ring with the hot honey chicken and waffle sandwich. That is awesome. I can't wait to eat that. And all of these sandwiches are going to be featured with our spotlight videos that, of course, I'm doing in conjunction with RJ Torres of Visually Chopped Productions. As I'm saying this, I see an amazing sandwich from another possible entrant that I've been going back and forth with. I'm not going to mention it because I don't want to call them out. But go to the Indulgent Islander Facebook page. As you can see, we're live on Facebook right now. So go to the Indulgent Islander Facebook page, or again, the Instagram at EATHHI. You're going to be able to find any of these spotlight videos for all of these amazing sandwiches that we're going to be featuring, and go out and support them and throw your hat in the ring for the Skyscraper Grand Prize, which is aptly named after the skyscraper size sandwich that you can get at Gruby's New York Deli. You can upsize any sandwich to a skyscraper. So we're going to put together a similarly awesome sandwich-centric skyscraper grand prize for the sandwich tour. I'm getting chalky. I'm getting tired, and I'm going to wrap this up. I will be back tomorrow evening, if all things work out, with Chef Michael Fitzhugh of Cafe Al Dente, who is going to talk about the brand new location for Cafe Al Dente that's going to be opening in New Riverside very soon. Again, I've talked about it a couple of times. The menu is going to be about 60% the same as the original location in Coligny. Again, this is right adjacent to Cafe Al Dente, is right adjacent to Sweet Owls, who we just had Toniann on from. Toniann Comello and Al, owners of Sweet Owls, are right adjacent there to Cafe Al Dente. So Cafe Al Dente is going to open up their new location in New Riverside. We're going to talk to Chef Michael Fitzhugh about that. Also reminds me that there are a couple of other things that we are going to get into that I have to prepare for. This is going to be a good one. So please check it out. Again, that should be tomorrow evening as well, probably a little bit earlier than this one. I'm not going to keep you guys on while I'm doing this prep or whatever, but stay tuned for that. And again, keep your eye on the socials for more Enjoy Every Sandwich. Stay hungry, my friends. Indulgent Islander out. Happy hump day.